Random. My name is Andre, and I had to make an updated version of a video that I made a year back or over a year back um, because apparently the inevitable has happened. It had come to this: the SIM card Registration Act is now a law, and within the first few months of it being a law, um, and the government actually requiring people to register their SIM cards and having to disclose their identities on that particular phone number. Um, there were many people who would support it or agree with it and consider it as a way to um, to reduce text scams, spamming, phishing, and other forms of harmful text messages and all that, which has been running rampant, especially during the early years of the pandemic era. And so, yeah, it had to be a law. Um, and so during in the original video, I decided to use the model of a Globe and TM SIM card that I haven't opened it yet. I haven't opened them yet at that time, but right now I already have, and I'm using it on this small keypad phone. I'm just gonna show you right there. It says here Globe TM, and you can see the time that I am recording this at the moment. And I have the Globe and TM Sims right here. I have registered them on on my I've registered my name and my face through uh, through government issued IDs into my phone number. And so, that being said, um, I'm just uh, I'm just wondering how that law will be enforced, will be implemented, and how it could be done, or how people or how this will help people from to avoid receiving or having less of those spammy messages. Because I'll admit, even after a few months after I registered my SIM card, I've still received these sorts of text messages and all that. And has anyone even dared? Wait, I'm just gonna show you for this video. I have for the model or for the reference that I have in this video. I have a Smart and a TNT SIM card over here. I haven't opened them yet. I'm going to register them I by the time I open them, and then I'm going to transfer them to another keypad phone of mine, because apparently I don't really use smartphones when it comes to calling and texting. I really prefer the keypad when it comes to that. And here's the thing. Um, Another thing is that I instead of um, in because SIM cards now require now required to register your face and name through the government issued IDs that you have, or other alternatives, then it would also only be fair if these SIM cards right here will not be made available or accessible in a lot of retail stores. Only in those that are that are approved or like authorized by the said company, like not for reselling and all that. Like if you buy a certain sim, you're not allowed to resell them anywhere else, something like that. And so what I would do is like I got the Globe and TM SIM cards in the actual store. Like I went to the actual Globe branch to purchase these SIM cards. And back when I purchased them, the SIM card registration act was not yet a law. It was not yet signed into law. And so like by that time, it was vetoed by the predecessor, and then it was signed into law at last by our current president. It had to go there, yeah. And so, but in this case, Smart and TNT, formerly known as Talk and Text, I went to the PLDT store at the downtown area, and so the security guard there was literally the first person, or the watchman, the security guard was the first person to entertain me. Like, he decided to ask me, like, what do you want, sir? What do you want here? What's your business here? And so I just told him, I want to buy a SIM card. And so he told me, you can't buy SIM cards here. You can only buy SIM cards in Cellcom. You can buy SIM cards in Cellcom branches. I was like, okay, I'll try to go to Cellcom and all that. Like, there were two Cellcoms that were near that place, and so there were two Cellcoms that were near that PLDT branch, and so I decided to check those out, and so I bought one Smart from there, and so like none of them had TNT SIMs available. I got this one from like Robinsons, and so yeah, and so like I just decided to like show these as a model and all that. It's more of a Simreg site, if I can remember correctly. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is that these sorts of things, like SIM cards, like especially the ones that you need to have your identity registered or transcribed in these SIMs, as what the words as what the acronym SIM means, subscriber identity module. It would also only be fair that these things would not be sold anywhere, because I would usually see these being sold in like in those like small retail stores, or like those vendors who would sell SIM cards. But like now that like it requires you to have your identity etched, like it would also only be fair that these would become just less accessible, like not less accessible to the point where you can only go to the branches to to purchase them. No, just just make them less suspicious that they are fake SIM cards and all that, because of course people there will always be some people who would have that suspicion that they're fake, because they're so goddamn accessible, because they could be sold literally anywhere. I myself have had that suspicion too, and I know there are some people who have also had the same suspicion, and so take that out, like make it just a little bit less accessible. That's another thing, and I'm gonna try to register these bad boys right here on my other keypad, and I'm just gonna let you know how it went on a separate post, because I have no idea how this law is being implemented, or what people do if like what's exactly gonna happen to your said phone number if ever you send a spammy text message to someone. Like, has anyone even tried that? Has anyone even tried to send a spammy text message just to know what will happen? Because like doing that is a violation of this said law. And so like, has anyone tried to do that? I mean, obviously, based on the spammy text messages that I've still received over the past few months, even though there are quite less of them already, yes, there are people who still do it. But like, for the ones who still do it, for the ones who did it, is there some sort of penalty? Like, is there something that will happen to your number if you send such a message? Because 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 of the fact that, like, you're required to have your face and your name transcribed in these SIM cards. They will know that you sent. They will know that you sent that said message. And so, are they gonna penalize you for that, or can you just get away with it? Because if you can get away with it, then what's the whole damn point of registering the numbers in the first place? And if there weren't so many people who were so damn gullible, who would easily fall for these kinds of scams, who would easily be deceived or tricked by these scams, this law wouldn't even exist. Like, we're actually one of the few countries that didn't have this law implemented, because because the government thought the people knew better. But boy, were they terribly wrong. But like, here, at least now, those kinds of spam messages have lessened, at least lessened, because I still get them though. So yeah, it's all that I tried to make here. And as this law takes full effect in the next few months, because it got extended, I will still see. I will try to see, like, what happens. I want to see this law to its fullest extent, and for now, I will just register these two SIMs. That's all I needed to say.